Good morning. I'm Maricopa County Supervisor Bill Gates, and it's great to have you all joining us again for another one of our virtual county coffees. And we've got a special guest today, an entrepreneur and a lawyer here in Phoenix, in District 3, is Robert Reeder. Robert, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Bill. Really appreciate it. I have to admit, this is the first Zoom or Facebook Live interview that I've done, so bear with me. But I do appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and to share my perspective for what it's worth with the district.
Excellent, excellent. So tell us, how did you get to where you're at as a successful lawyer and entrepreneur in District 3?
Sure. It's definitely been a long road and an interesting one. So as many people know, I was born back east in New York City. I lived there until I had to go to college, started college at Pomona College in Claremont, California, and then finished up at Clark University in Worcester. Got a legal degree at Suffolk in Boston, and then a second degree in London. And that took me to Arizona in 2005. After I came back from London, I looked around New York, I looked around the tri-state area, and it just wasn't somewhere I wanted to raise a family at that point. I had a good friend out here named Tim Kerrigan, who's a financial advisor in town. He convinced me to come out here. And so in 2005,
like so many others, right?
Yeah, so I'm a transplant from the East Coast. I came here in 2005, worked for some small law firms, some large law firms, and eventually was able to open my own practice, which is in Arcadia. We have a boutique law firm. We focus on a lot of different areas of law, and there's 5 of us, and then we have colleagues as well that help support us.
Well, so Robert, you're known as a successful lawyer around town, but just recently you've become a bit of a celebrity on AZ Central. The day after the riots at Scottsdale Fashion Square, you got up that next morning and went over and helped with the cleanup effort. And as I said, your picture's been shown on AZ Central. But I was just so impressed by that. So can you talk to our viewers about why you got up a Sunday morning? Why did you get up and go over there and do that?
Sure. And it might surprise many people to learn that I actually had no idea that the riots were going on. I believe the riots were on a Saturday night. And so I woke up. I usually get up pretty early on the weekends to try to get some work done before my children are up. I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So once they're up, it's over for me.
That's right.
So I happened to be up at it must have been 5, 6 a.m. And I turned on my Facebook feed and somebody had posted something about people meeting in front of Dick's Sporting Goods at the mall to help clean up. I wish I knew the person who organized it, or I'd give them some recognition. But yeah. I just thought about it, and I thought about what can we do to show protesters, and I'm not talking about legitimate protesters who are peaceful in downtown Phoenix. I'm talking about criminals who destroyed the mall for no good reason. I thought about it, and it occurred to me that I had to do something, and I had to do something to show the people who had done that we're not going to stand for that in Phoenix, Scottsdale, or anywhere else in our state. We're just not going to do it. And I think as a person of color, hopefully that made an even more powerful statement that said, this isn't about race, this isn't about color, because quite frankly, maybe the pictures don't do it justice, but there were families there. There were married couples there. There were white people there. There were Native Americans. There were brown people. It was a United Colors of Benetton ad cleaning up that mall. And it was just such a great positive thing.
Well, I have to tell you, just seeing those images on social media and then on AZ Central, so powerful. And I think said so much about our community, but about you in particular, Robert. So thank you. Really on behalf of all of our viewers and everybody across Maricopa County, it really was inspiring. Now, as we talk about that, maybe we can pivot to another obviously significant challenge that we're addressing, and that's COVID-19. Now, you advise small businesses, and can you talk a little bit about what that's been like, your practice? As you mentioned, you're not in your office, but then also how you've been advising those small businesses and what the challenges are and maybe opportunities at this time.
Sure. So yes, as you said, I am in my garage, and at first it was a little strange. And all joking aside, my clients and the people I've met with have been great about coming to meet with me and socially distance. We have a small firm, so perhaps the concern is not as great as larger companies, but we do believe that we have a duty, if we can perform our jobs at home, to do so. So we are socially distancing. We are doing our jobs from home. I've been asked a lot about business challenges during COVID-19. I think the biggest challenge to me is an intersection between law and business, is having everyone shift the paradigm to working from home. So obviously, if you're working from home, there's productivity issues, there's distraction issues. I think you're going to have to put in place systems to monitor that and to track productivity. But then there's also just keeping an office culture. I think something that has to be done is focus on keeping people connected. So I know one of the challenges we've had during this time is, how do we keep everyone connected through our firm, with people working in Ahwatukee and Mesa, and quite frankly, sometimes out of state. So it's those are the challenges I think are going to be facing businesses. Maybe that's more of a business commentary than a legal one, but I think that's going to be the focus, is how does your office adapt to that?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had some of the same issues at Maricopa County. We've been encouraging as many of our employees as possible to work from home. And I think for a lot of people, they found that they've been more productive. Some people, their job simply cannot be done from home. And obviously those people need to be out. But during this time, that people can still get their work done from home. And not only does it benefit because it's sort of the ultimate social distancing, if you're working from home, but at Maricopa County, we have the responsibility for air quality for the region. And there are certainly air quality benefits that come from that as well. As we've seen the numbers have come down over time. We've certainly had some success on that, but I think you've seen even more at this time.
Absolutely. And, one comment to the business owners out there, I think there is an opportunity here, because why not look at your workers or your workforce? Do you have employees? Do you have independent contractors? What kind of employees do you have? Full-time, part-time, seasonal? And there is a huge savings to be had from working with independent contractors versus employees. And now obviously there's that right to control test in Arizona. In other words, the easiest way to think about it is, the more you can control a worker, the more they are an employee, the less they are a contractor. Mm-hmm. But look at your business model. If you can do work through independent contractors, there is massive payroll tax savings there and other benefits. You can restrict a contractor in ways that you can't restrict an employee. So just as a coffee point, I would say, look at your workforce, determine whether you can shift to at-home workers, to contract workers, to save money.
Excellent. Well, and that's something that's very important as the businesses have been impacted. If they can help find some savings, ways to get back on their feet, and then hopefully down the road, hire even more employees, right?
Exactly. Reinvest in their business, of course. Get through this challenging time. Make use of the PPP and EIDL, SBA loans. Get back on your feet. Rehire people. Start that economic engine moving. Motion creates emotion. Just get it going. Get back out there. That's the important thing.
And actually, as you're talking about small businesses, as the Board of Supervisors, we voted yesterday. The Maricopa County received $399 million under the CARES Act. Really? And so we voted on how to allocate that money, and we voted as a board to provide $23 million for small businesses, grants to small businesses. Now, Phoenix and Mesa has also received money from the federal government, so this would be everywhere other than Phoenix and Mesa. So that's something you might want to pass on to some of your clients if they operate outside of Phoenix and Mesa, but elsewhere in Maricopa County. We'll be standing that up in the weeks ahead, and can be an opportunity for those small businesses to weather the storm and come out on the other end very successfully.
I completely agree, and I will let them know about that program. Just a last comment. I think we have to support all businesses for obvious reasons, but in particular, small businesses that are struggling really can be the business could be the family. If the business goes under, the family has no more income. I mean, there are real consequences to mom and pop shops and small and even medium-sized businesses going under. So I would encourage everyone in the district, or everyone in the county, everyone in the state, to really support local businesses, not lawyers. Not the people that are doing fine. I'm talking about restaurants. I'm talking about your local hardware store, your butcher, whomever. But that's where I would encourage people to focus.
Well, that's a great place to end it, a great message. Robert, thanks for joining us. Thanks for all you do as a business person, as an attorney advising folks. And finally, I would argue, a real hero stepping up along with all those other people who went over to Scottsdale Fashion Square and really showed the very best of Maricopa County. So thanks so much. And again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Bill. Really appreciate your time and the opportunity, and hello to everybody, and goodbye.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for this virtual county coffee, and we'll be back again soon with another great guest. Thanks so much and have a great day.